Okay, you get the text. Big party this weekend? What's your first gut reaction? Is it, yes, what am I going to wear? Or is it, okay, how do I get out of this? If you're in that second group, secretly planning your excuse, well, science has some pretty fascinating news for you.
Come on, be honest. You get that follow-up text, hey, so sorry, something came up, gotta cancel. And for just a second, you feel this wave of pure, absolute relief wash over you. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone in wanting to be alone. And it turns out this whole preference has been wildly, and I mean wildly, misunderstood. Forever, society has slapped some pretty negative labels on people who genuinely enjoy their own company, right? Loner, weird, maybe even broken. But what if I told you that science is starting to see it completely differently? That what we've been calling a flaw might actually be a kind of superpower? So, first things first, we have to clear the air on a massive misunderstanding. For decades, even psychology kinda lumped these two things together, the choice to be alone and the pain of being lonely. They are not even close to being the same thing.
The big shift really started happening around 2016. A study from the University of Buffalo asked a question that was simple, but honestly pretty revolutionary at the time. What if some people just like being alone? Not because they're scared or angry, but just because they prefer it.
And that led them to this key term, unsociability. Now, let's be super clear here. This is not being antisocial. That's driven by hostility and aggression. And it's not being avoidant, which is all about fear and hiding from people. Unsociability is something else entirely. It's just a calm, non-fearful preference for solitude as a way to recharge your batteries. Okay, so what is actually going on inside the brain of someone who feels this way? You might think it's just quiet in there, empty. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it's incredibly active, just in a totally different way.
Think of it like a sensitivity to spice. See, people who love solitude often have a more sensitive dopamine system. So an extrovert might need a huge, loud party, the whole jalapeno, to get that good time buzz. But for the solitude lover, a quiet evening with a good book, just a single flake of red pepper is more than enough to hit that sweet spot of stimulation.
And it's not just about needing less stimulation. It's about what the brain does with that quiet. When they're alone, their prefrontal cortex, that's the CEO of the brain, responsible for deep thinking and problem solving, it absolutely lights up. They're not just staring at a wall. Their brain is hosting its own private party of ideas, creativity, and self-reflection.
But, and this is maybe the most important distinction we're going to make today, the reason you seek out solitude is what separates a healthy, powerful trait from a defense mechanism. The why is everything.
The legendary psychologist Abraham Maslow just hit the nail on the head with this one. Healthy solitude isn't about running away from people because you feel like you lack social skills or connection. That's scarcity. It's about running toward yourself because you're already full and secure. That's abundance. So, this is a moment for a little self-check-in. Ask yourself, why do I want to be alone right now? Am I running to something? To recharge, to create, to think deeply? Or am I running from something? Because being alone just feels safer, easier, or less painful than connecting with others. That one question is the key. Now get ready for the paradox. Here's the part that might sound totally backwards. A healthy relationship with being alone doesn't hurt your social life. Nope. In a lot of ways, it actually makes it way better.
I mean, think about it. Where do the real breakthroughs happen? It's rarely in a crowded, noisy brainstorming session. They come in those quiet moments of reflection. Einstein, Newton, Virginia Woolf, Maya Angelou, some of the greatest minds in history actively sought solitude, not to escape the world, but to understand it on a deeper level.
You know, our culture is obsessed with this idea of finding your other half. Like we're all just a broken Lego piece, looking for a match to feel complete. But people who are comfortable in solitude, they have a totally different view. They don't see themselves as a missing piece. They already feel like a whole set. And that kind of self-sufficiency, it's incredibly magnetic. And hey, this isn't just some new Western psychological theory. In Japan, they've had a word for this for ages, hitori. It's the celebrated art of spending time alone. They have solo karaoke booths, restaurants designed for a single diner. It's not seen as sad or lonely. It's seen as a respected, normal, and even fulfilling part of a balanced life. All right, so let's bring this all home. If you are one of those people who feels that quiet pull towards your own company, it is time, long past time, to reframe how you see it. So here it is. Consider this your official permission slip. You are not weird. You are not broken. In a world that is screaming 24/7 for more connection, more noise, more availability, your brain is simply wired to find peace, restoration, and creativity in solitude. And that's not a flaw, it's an asset.
So I'm going to leave you with that one last check-in, because it really is the most important question of all. When you choose to be alone, are you running to a place of recharge and self-discovery, or are you running from the sometimes messy challenge of human connection? Knowing that answer for yourself, well, that's everything.
And hey, the next time someone questions why you're happy staying in on a Friday night, you don't need to give them a long scientific explanation. You can just smile and give them the simplest, truest, and most powerful answer there is. Because I like myself.